That's good. But there'll be a recap for it, so we'll share the details for it, and everyone probably at the end of the master class or during the next week.
Thank you.
What school did you said you just finished from your school, right? Is it same school?
Yeah, we both finished from University of Wolverhampton.
Oh wow, okay, congrats. That's good. So it's nice
Thank
to
you.
know that we have people joining us from another okay, not another time zone, another country. So yeah, thank you very much.
Thank
All
you
right.
too. Yeah.
Yes. So without further ado, we are going to move. I'm going to allow David, who is the person speaking today, to take over. Yeah, and I'm just going to speak about David. I mean, I've known him for like um 2015. That's that's 10 years now. Wow, it's 10 years. Like, okay, let me just say 2016. I think that's when we fully settled in. Yeah, so we were classmates, studying civil engineering. Look at where our paths have taken us, even though we finished BSc civil engineering. And we're also colleagues at a fintech Keble. And at Keble, David spent 6 years at Keble, and which is a startup focused on democratizing access to real estate investment. And it was really interesting to watch him rise from operations associate to head of investor relations. Sorry. And since 2022, inspired by the launch of ChatGPT, he has shifted his focus to AI, developing his expertise and now working with professionals and business owners to unlock the power of artificial intelligence. He also leads AI Beacon. I hope, David, you share your the AI Beacon newsletter here. So AI Beacon is like an
Yeah.
initiative dedicated to AI literacy and showcasing practical real-world use cases of technology. And I've subscribed it, and the few editions that I've gotten, I've actually like when I get this, I'm going to practice them. Like, oh, so I can do this thing with AI. Oh, this is how to make AI better. Like, yeah, so it's really nice. And he's going to take us on a journey in this session. That's like we mentioned, AI for impact. So, handing the mic over to you, David.
Okay. So first of all, because I don't think we did a mic check. So mic check and video check. Can you hear me clearly? Can you see me clearly?
Yes, you can really clearly, you can see it clearly.
Okay. Everything's sharp, Abby.
Yes, all good.
Okay. Trying to switch.
David, I did. Okay, probably yeah, you have to sort out something. So while he's away, let's continue with the introduction we're talking about. So maybe let's hear from you. So you can just introduce yourself, tell us what you do, and tell us what you hope to gain from this session. Okay, go ahead.
All right. Hello. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes. So, I'm a healthcare provider and also a medical script writer.
Okay.
Yes. So, this the first session was really, really engaging, and I was exposed to a lot of things. So, this particular session would be very useful for my work, considering the fact that AI is becoming very, very, very diversified. Like there is a lot of upgrade and there's a lot of improvements. So most times, if you're not updated on what's happening, you might be left out. So I would love this session. I would love to be enlightened more on some aspects that I have a little confusion about. So I just hope that this session will be impactful for me.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. I'm sure it will be powerful. So David is back. So David, you can.
Okay. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we
Sorry, Airtel, MTN, everybody is having their own wahala. So
can.
so
Understand.
good good afternoon, evening, depending on what convention you use. It's a good evening, everyone. First of all, I'd like to say a very big thank you to Amos for having me on here. Had a very amazing relationship over the years, and Amos is one of the few people I'm very proud to call my friend. Um, that being said, I'd like to give a basis for how this meeting will flow. Let me not call it meeting. Let's just call it a session. And because we are not so many in number, I want it to be more interactive in the sense of, oh, if you have a question and things like that, then of course feel free to ask. Another thing that I would like to say is that by the time you are leaving, by the end of this session, you will definitely, that one I'll beat my chest, you will definitely be more aware and more enlightened about AI than the average person out there. And this is average global person out there. So both Nigerian and outside the country. So with that being said, I would like to kick off now. Let me just share my screen so I can share my slides because I also presented slides. Yes. So let me. Can you see my slides?
Yes, you can.
Okay, is it in full screen now?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so let's dive into it. So today we're going to be talking about, I wish I can, I think I should just come here so I can see. Yeah, awesome. So today we're going to be talking about, AI for impact, real world use cases that drive results. It's a mouthful, but definitely something that, is very relevant for each and everyone here. I'm guessing that in this place we have working professionals. So definitely something in here for you and something in here for everyone here. Okay, so moving forward. So AI for impact, real world use cases that drive results. So why is this topic so important? It is very important because in this time and age, there's a lot of AI hype. AI powered this, AI powered that. There's AI powered washing machine. There's AI powered TV. Everybody's slapping AI on everything just because of investor and hype and all that. But despite all the hype and all the tools and all the announcements and everything, something that is also very important for you as a professional, regardless of what your field is. I think someone was mentioning that she's an entrepreneur. Someone was mentioning that she wants to get into tech and all that. Something that's very important is that we focus on how it can bring value to you, in the sense of there's no point of hype if it's not going to bring value to you. But like we see in Nigeria, like if it's not bringing money, so I'm not having that conversation, that kind of thing. So okay, so moving forward. Now, the thing about AI is that AI is not really one thing per se. And there's a lot of confusion when it comes to AI. I like to call it the AI confusion cloud, which, everybody's like, what is AI? You see the headlines, AI is taking my job, AI is not taking my job, AI is going to replace designers. Should I learn how to code in 2025? Should I not learn how to code in 2025? And there's a whole debate going on social media and all that. But some common misconceptions people have about AI, that AI is robots and they are taking over just like the sci-fi movies, and also that AI is just chatbots that are answering questions. And then also another thing is, when it comes to AI, that people have misconception is that AI is the deep fakes. So deep fake is like you see a video of Tinubu maybe insulting, maybe he's insulting a musician or so, but of course that video is fake because Tinubu will not be, recording himself insulting a musician. Someone has gone to go and do the deep fake of it. But the thing is that AI at its core is not a threat, is not a friend, it's really not a friend or a threat or like a monster. AI at its core is basically just technology. And the best way to let me just move to the next slide. So the best way to summarize what AI is that AI is basically an autocorrect, an autocomplete on steroids. That's what I wrote there. So think of AI today like autocomplete on steroids. So what does that mean? For those of us who use a smartphone, which I believe everyone here should be using a smartphone. If you use an iPhone, I think iPhone especially, the keyboard on your iPhone, when you're typing something, it's, you can be typing how are, but by the time you type your how and then are, the next thing it's going to say is you. So how are you? So it has already predicted that you should be saying you after how are. So that's basically the technology. That's basically the best way to summarize the technology of what AI is. AI is autocomplete on steroids, but uh, unlike your normal keyboard app and things like that, AI is built in such a way that it is built on understanding patterns. AI is a supercomputer that is built on understanding patterns, and patterns is in everything that we do. In your writing, there's a pattern. In your video, there's a pattern. In your images, there's a pattern. For example, let me just give an example. In your image now, if you wanted to draw the image of a human being, you're not going to put the leg on the head. You're going to put the head is going to be here. You're not going to put the feet on the leg, on the where the head is supposed to be. That is already a pattern. And so it uses a technology called transformer technology. That's what I put there. So GPT, ChatGPT and the rest, it means generative pre-trained transformer. And this is grammar. So let me break it down again. So what all this grammar we say is that the AI is a technology that, number one, understands patterns. And after now understanding the patterns, it can now predict what should come next. And that is why I talked about autocomplete on steroids. So let me just give a very basic example. Now, the way it understands pattern is that it is trained on a lot of data. Let me just give another example as well. If I don't know how many of us here know Stephen King. Stephen King is a very popular author. He's one of the biggest. I think he does thrillers. But Stephen King, he's the one that I think Stranger Things on Netflix. He's the one that is his book. His book inspired Stranger Things, and he's a very like all time. In fact, let's not even go too far. Let's do Lord of the Rings. So, let's say that you take the Lord of the Rings books. No, I can't remember who the author of Lord of the Rings is, but let's just use Stephen King because I know who he is. So Stephen King, what the technology does is that they will feed the technology all the data, that is all the books Stephen King has ever written before. I think he has written like 20 to 30 books. And what that technology does is that it now looks for patterns. That does he use this versus does he use this versus this R, or does he use like plots here? Where does it bring plot twist and things like that? And the technology now understands that data, and then it's now able. So if you now come to the technology and say, "Oh, write me a book like Stephen King," because he understands the data, that it understands how Stephen King writes. Remember, I talked about patterns. He can now output a book or like a piece of text for you that is after the pattern of Stephen King. So it will be like, oh, the output it gives you is after the output it gives you is just like you were Stephen King. It's just like Stephen King wrote what it wrote for you. So that's basically what AI is. It's basically just a lot of data has gone into training this AI, and then it recognizes patterns, and then it can output those patterns. So another thing about it is that because of where we are now, we first started off with text AI. So text AI is ChatGPT, came out in November 2022. And that everything was trained on text, and everything was moving text wise. There's a lot of data. In fact, it is reported that the original AI models were trained on the entire internet. That is, they scraped the entire internet. That means they fed the model the entire internet. That's why if now you go to ChatGPT, you ask a question about anything, it literally knows the answer because it was trained and it has analyzed patterns of basically everything on the internet. And just imagine how wide that is. So now what we now have is that we now have AI that can also detect patterns across different modalities. So modalities is big grammar, but let me break it down. This is all about value. So modalities basically means the different media forms. And the reason why I want to be using the real words is that so that when you go out there and you see these things, you're not confused again. It's not really big. Modality is equals to media. So when you now say that, oh, this is a multimodal AI system, it means that this is what? It can take different modalities, that is different media. Let me just give an example. If you go on ChatGPT today, it can understand images. If I upload a screenshot of this this slide now, it will tell me that, oh, this slide has color blue, this slide has color green and everything, because now it understands the patterns in images. And it can also do for video as well. So now we have AI models that can do for text, which was the original. And then later on, they brought on image and they also brought on video. The reason why I'm saying all this and why I'm spending so much time here is that you need to understand. Let me move to the next slide, which is what I'm really talking about again. So why this foundation matters is that understanding tech means that you use it better. For example, if you don't know that AI is very good with different modalities, you will not know how to use it well, in the sense of you will only be using ChatGPT for text. You will not think of using it for images as well, and that's going to hinder your usage of it. And I was here when someone was mentioning that she does, I think she does shawarma as well. As I'm speaking to you now, on ChatGPT, you can create ads for your shawarma business, and you can create ads for your shawarma business, like the graphic of the ads, like how it will look in. Let's say you give a graphic designer to you, he can literally be a graphic designer for you because he understands images and things like that. So, but like I said, that's why it's also very important, so that you can make the most out of the AI systems, because I kid you not, the rate at which AI is improving and getting better is mind-blowing. And I'm talking about every single week, there's a new mind-blowing discovery, there's a new mind-blowing innovation. But like I said, the case for all this thing is in the practicality, not just, oh, the innovation. And that's why you need to also, understand and know what the foundation is. So mastery isn't about using a tool, it's about understanding it so deeply that you can shape it to your will. So that is the point you need to get to. Anything you are doing, the goal for you is to be an AI-assisted ETC, an AI-assisted product manager, an AI-assisted entrepreneur, an AI-assisted marketer, probably is a marketer, an AI-assisted community leader, and things like that. You must know how to master the tool and use it how you can, and use it to the best of its abilities. Okay, so moving on. So what is the... Oof. I went too far. So what are the real world superpowers of AI? What are the real world superpowers of AI? So the first thing is that it saves time. The second thing is that it increases your output. The third is that it enhances creativity. And number four, it automates and reasons as well. So I'm just going to touch on the four things, and this is very important because, we're talking about the practical use cases. We can spend the whole day talking about all the innovations that have happened even in April alone, but that is not going to benefit you. This is where your focus should be on, the superpower. How can AI improve me as whatever? I mentioned before, AI-powered product manager, AI-powered, all that. So saving time. So AI is very good when it comes to you doing more with less time. So let me just give an example. Say you wanted to write a LinkedIn article, you're trying to grow your personal brand and all that. But before, this is how that flow will be. You will think for like 15 minutes, oh, what should the topic be? What will the flow be? Then you now enter your Google Keep or your Apple Notes, and then you start typing that, oh, today I should talk about being a community leader in 2025 and how that has shaped me to be the best version of myself. And then you draft, make your typos. And then as you're drafting that, you now go online for like 20, 30 minutes. And then you're searching up, statistics so that you can sound smart on LinkedIn. Remember now, you've used like 40 minutes already. And then when you now come back with all your stats, because remember before, we would go and get each of the stats. So you have to type in, scroll to the website, click on this one, copy, paste, do that for each stat. And then by the time that has gone, you now have to now come back and edit everything so that, remove the typos, make it a very structured flow, improve your punctuation. And then after like 15 minutes, you can now go and post on LinkedIn. Now with AI, or something like that. It's just a function of you tell the tool what you want to achieve with this piece. You give it a guide that, oh, I want to sound funny. I want to sound very relatable. I want to sound like a thought leader. Also, you can also give it a guide for getting, your statistics and, any online information. Let's say you heard of something that happened this week and you want to tie it into your LinkedIn article. You can easily just prompt that as well. And in literally minutes, it will get you your full LinkedIn article ready to be posted. And all you need to do is just copy and paste in LinkedIn and send. So you are using 10 minutes versus 15 minutes, which is wild. And this is happening across, every field. I'll just give a very relatable example because, like I mentioned, we are all professionals here. So saving time is the number one superpower. Another thing I want to add here is, for now, with the way AI is going, we will not just be focused on saving time. We are looking onto other things. But like I said, we are focusing on only the practical side, that the practical value of AI for today. But in time, and I don't want to sound like a prophet, but the way things are going, this saving time will be smaller. There will be more things coming. So moving on. So increases output. Yeah. So there's a law. It's called the Parkinson's law, and it says that work expands to fill the time available. And what that means is that if you tell yourself that you have to finish this work in 2 hours, you will just find yourself, somehow the work will just stretch to 2-hour work. A very common example of this is like in deadlines. Let's say you have a deadline to submit maybe a report by Friday, by 12, let's say by 12 p.m. and it's currently 10 a.m. You just see that in that 2 hours, somehow, the work you do not do for 1 week, in that 2 hours, you just complete it. So it's a very popular principle in productivity. That's Parkinson's law. And what that ties in with AI is that because we have AI now, it collapses that time. So, I said before that, it saves time. But now what AI is doing is that it is freeing up time. So before, you use 50 minutes to do one LinkedIn article. Once again, I'm going back to this example. Now, because you have AI, you can actually do much more in less time. I mentioned that, that's 15 minutes will turn to 15 minutes. And now between the 15 minutes and the 15 minutes, you have 35 minutes more. You can actually do like 2 more articles. You can go and do another research report or anything like that. You can just increase your outputs in ways that we've never seen before because of the freed up time. So increasing output, I give some examples there. Writing 50 headlines. Before, if you're a copywriter, you have to scratch your head and everything. But now with AI, you are not thinking about, before, the normal human brain, you think of 10 headlines if you're a copywriter, but now you can just say, oh, give me what I usually like to do. Also, I'll be dropping tips along the way. What I like to do when it comes to like finding headlines and things like that is that I'll ask the AI to give me a crazy number, because I realize that, fine, sometimes it might not give you something solid, but by the time you ask it for a large number, you will just find something good. It's like taking pictures. If you take 50 pictures, the likelihood of finding like good poses and everything is more than if you just take 2. So that's what I like to do, and just a little hack for AI use. So moving forward, enhances creativity. I needed to lay the foundation of the modalities and all that stuff because AI has evolved. I mentioned earlier that we first started off with text. When ChatGPT came out in 2022, it was just text. I remember back then I signed up like 1 week after. I'm like, what is this thing? And I started using it. And it was just text. But along the line, we started to get image models. The first was Midjourney and some other ones like that. And we've gotten to a whole place where AI is literally in every facet of like digital media. So every facet of creativity, apart from the tech side of creativity, that is helping you write stories, helping you, what else is in text? Helping you write stories, helping you write lyrics, helping you write poems, if you are poets, helping you write pieces, motivational. It can even help you write quotes and things like that. That's tech side. So now, because we have different modalities, once again, modalities means media. So you have like images, video, and everything. As I'm speaking to you now, you can use AI to generate full-on ads. So ads that will have images, ads that will have the videos and all that. You can do all that with AI. And also, and I added it there, and I added that there as well. is that you can also create music with AI now. There's a couple of tools like that. Suno, Murica, etc, 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 etc. This is not a music class, and if you're a musician here, you can just reach out to me. I'll give you the tools for that. So it really helps to enhance creativity, and we are seeing AI in a lot of these spaces as well. So, like I mentioned, images, videos, music. What I was going to do was that I think I was going to wait for questions for anyone who might want any of these tools, or like specific questions on it, like, oh, David, how do I generate? Oh, da, da, da. So instead of me giving it to you, I'll just wait for you to ask. Let it not be like as if I'm speaking into the clouds. Okay, so moving forward, so I'm trying to share this slide. Okay, then also idea expansion as well. So moving forward, the next superpower of AI, which is literally the future of AI, everybody has called 2025 the year of AI agents. We are getting to a time where, so another thing about AI, I need to explain this before I get into the points. Another thing about AI is that as it is now, AI is confined. So when you go to ChatGPT, you open the prompt box, you do all your stuff, you send it images, it gives you back images, you send it images, gives you back images, you send it text, it gives you back text, and all that. So everything is confined within that space. So what it does is that it reasons for you. You give it a problem, it reasons like, oh, if this person makes shawarma, then this person should be making an Instagram caption that makes whoever is reading it feel hungry. So it's reasoning for you. It's like, okay, yes. The person that anybody reading this caption must feel hungry so that they can buy Yinka's shawarma. Oh yeah. Based on that, this is the caption. Oh yeah, Yinka take. So that's reasoning. But now we are getting to a point where AI is now about to, or is already, but it's not yet mainstream, but it's about to leave the confines of the text window. So what does that mean? So apart from AI just doing things for you, just reasoning for you and giving you back outputs in the ChatGPT or Claude or whatever tool you are using in the window or in the app, AI agents are now designed in such a way that it can do things outside. So there's a framework for it. They call it React framework. React, REACT, so React. So reason and act for you. So what this means is that with AI, you can do things like you can book your meetings. So if, for example, you really tell you that, oh, let's say I have an AI called Christians in Tech AI. Oh, hello, Christian in Tech AI. I want you to book a meeting for me for 8 p.m. with Amos tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow by 8 p.m. And it goes ahead. And all I have to do is check my phone and see, oh, they have created a new meeting for me tomorrow. Another way that is also happening right now is that you can book flights for you, you can book hotels for you, you can also do your shopping for you as well. It can do your research for you. So another very popular example that people are using AI agents for is finding leads. For example, let me just give an example. There are tools right now that you can prompt and they will go to LinkedIn. For example, if you say, go and find me every Apple engineer on LinkedIn that lives in New York, it will go on LinkedIn, find every Apple engineer that of course, New York is in their bio, and then put it all together in a Google Sheet for you so that you can reach out to them, that kind of thing. So that's just an example of how AI is not just reasoning, but reasoning and acting. Okay, so yeah, so once again, like this section, very important for you. So how do you make AI work for you? All these things I've been saying, modality, transformer, is grammar, a lot of it is grammar. But the question now becomes that how do you make AI work for you in your own little way? So the first thing you need to do is you need to audit your current workflow. What does that mean? So auditing your current workflow is like, what am I currently doing? Like if I want to list out what I'm doing right now, for example, let's say that you are a product manager. Your workflow will include things like daily stand-up. You need to have stand-up with your developers. You need to plan your roadmap because every product has a roadmap. Oh, by December we are going to add this feature. by November we're going to add this feature, things like that. That's your roadmap. Then also user research. Well, how are our users making use of our product right now? And just just draft that whole thing out. And then the next step you need to now do is to, okay, what are some places in here, or what are some steps, or what are some things that I'm currently doing that AI can come in and assist. So piggybacking off the example of being a product manager, an example can be daily stand-ups. Can I have an AI tool that will be in all my stand-ups, that will give summaries in all my stand-ups? I think, Amos, you're even currently using one of those meeting tools in this meeting as well. In this session, I said I'm not going to call it meeting, but in this session as well. Another thing is user research. Oh, I'm looking at the dashboard now, because usually when it comes to product user feedback, there's always dashboards that say, oh, the users were going here, they call them heat maps. The user was going here, the user was going here, da, 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 da. You can just screenshot the whole thing and I'll give AI that, AI, this is what I'm seeing, and what does it mean? How can we fix this? Why are people moving to this side of the screen more than this side of the screen? If they click on this side, it's to give us money. I want them to move on this side. What can we do? Maybe the AI will not tell you that, oh, make the color of that button maybe brighter or something like that, or make it a gradient, or make it animated and fancy so that people can click on it more. So this is just an example using, a product manager as our case study. So another thing is for you to, you need to identify bottlenecks, pain points, then you match tasks to AI strengths. So what is AI good at? AI is good at reasoning. AI is good at reasoning, and AI is very good at pattern recognition. When you need pattern recognition, that, oh, analyzing. So the thing about analysis is that analysis is pretty much a function of pattern recognition. Because when you're analyzing something, it's like, what patterns can I see here? What can I draw? Things like that. So that's what AI does for you, and it's very good in that. And so I mentioned some repetitive things, time-consuming things, creative block, anything that has to do with creative block. Let me just give an example. So I was seeing a social media post yesterday. Yesterday was Friday? Yeah, yesterday. And I have templates that I currently use. I'm not a designer. So I have templates. I just did some templates before, and I've used all my templates. I've been overusing it, because with templates, you just go there, plug what you need to plug and all that. And I didn't know what to design, because like I said, I'm not a designer. So I just went to ChatGPT. I showed you what I made, and I was like, see, bros, this is what I've made, though. I don't have any idea for how this thing to, because I was going on Canva, I was looking at designs, I was like, I don't know how to do this thing, or like this thing is too complex and all this stuff. I said, okay, help me draft out a design for me. Like help me make an image, like how a fresh design will look. And he just did it for me, and I was like, just like that. And that's how I was rescued. He literally rescued me. So creative block tags as well, appropriate AI tools and capabilities. Of course, you need the right AI tool with the right capabilities. I think I'll wait for that to be a question instead of just giving here when it comes to the AI tools as well, like I mentioned before. So mental models. Mental models is grammar. So let me break it down. This slide is basically talking about how should I view AI? What is my mindset in working with AI? So the first thing is that, number one, AI is an amplifier. AI magnifies your existing capabilities. For example, if you're a coder, AI is not meant to just come and kick you out. It's meant to be like, oh, before you could make a whole page, like a whole website in 2 weeks. Now you can make it in 3 days, something like that. So boost your best work. Another mental model for dealing with AI is that you should look at it as a collaborator. Treat AI like a partner that is brainstorming with you. This is how ChatGPT and all those other tools they are designed. They are very eager to please. That is the way they work with you. Is that, oh, let me just go back to the example of Yinka and a shawarma business. So let's say Yinka sees the ad, and Yinka is like, see, ChatGPT, I don't like what you did for me. Or like this thing is not going to make the person peppered enough. Or for example, I'm just giving a common example. Your ad is not going to make the person, or it doesn't feel Nigerian enough, something like that. That's a very good example. It doesn't feel Nigerian enough. How can we work together to make this more Nigerian? And then ChatGPT will say, oh, let's use Wahala here, let's use Amebo here, let's use da, 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 da. What is the latest news? How can we tie it into your IG caption? Things like that. So a collaborator. Another thing is a filter. So AI really helps you filter through noise. So noise in the sense of, for example, let's say, and a lot of us, we work with documents. A lot of documents have a lot of noise. Noise as in things you don't need. As we say it colloquially, is serene. There's a lot of serene you don't need. So you can use that to, or for example, you're reading an article and there's a lot of things that the author is just rambling about. You can use AI to now extract key things and focus on what is important to you instead of all the things that are surrounding it. So AI as a filter as well. And then in the future, and also it's already happening now, but future focus as a co-worker, that is agentic AI, talking about AI agents that will not just be tools, but will go ahead to be actually doing tasks for you. So I want to speak about the filter for a bit. I just want to give you a practical example. So I use Microsoft Edge as my browser. And as someone who works in tech, you're on your browser almost every day of your life. That's where you spend most of your time. And on Microsoft Edge, there's a Copilot button. And with the Copilot, what happens is that you can, for example, you can select any text on any page, and you just need to right click and you can send it to Copilot. And on Copilot, you can now tell it to, summarize this, turn this into a tweet for me, turn this into an article, break this down for me, things like that. And it's just a very helpful, that's a really helpful tool for you. So moving on, because time is fast spent. 3 essential skills in the AI usage space. What are 3 skills that everyone, and this is not for people in tech, people not in tech, everyone that wants to work with AI, what are some skills that you need? You need to think. So the first one is systems thinking. You need to think from a place of systems. Now, what does that mean? Let me just give an example, because I believe examples really work. Let's do something like IG. If you are launching a brand, let's say you want to launch a brand on IG. So you want to be thinking about, if you are thinking about system, you're not just thinking about, make a caption for me. This is how a systems thinker would think. Let us make a brand guideline for my brand. Let's say Yinka Shawarma now, and the name of our shawarma brand is Odun, as it is sweet in Yoruba. So Odun, and so I'm working with ChatGPT. Let's say I'm Yinka now, working with ChatGPT. Now the average person is like, ChatGPT, you just come on ChatGPT, make IG caption, make this, make that, do this, do that. Yeah, I don't like what you did. All that stuff is nice. But when you take it to the next level is when you have systems thinking. So you want to create a system around the brand. So the first thing you do, number one, is that you're making guidelines that, hello ChatGPT, how do you, of course, you don't need to say hello ChatGPT, but I'll just give you an example. So hello ChatGPT, we need to make like a color guide that is going to guide every single image that you generate for me. And for example, let's say you want to use the color of, let's say, pink and blue and green. Very weird, but pink, blue, green. And what that does is that it now creates, ChatGPT is now aware that every image is going to create for your brand must have the colors or one of the colors of pink, blue, green. That is systems thinking. You are thinking from a place of, how can I create a system that guides all your outputs? That is very key. That's a very key and very essential skill. The second is prompting. Your output is only as good as your prompts. You can tell, I wish I could do this live, but because of time. If you tell ChatGPT, generate an image for me of a boy running, that is one prompt. But if you now go a step further and say, generate a prompt, generate an image of a boy running down a track field in the night, and he's putting on athletic sportswear, and the visual style is something cinematic, like it's a photo shoot for Nike, something like that. You will just see that the outputs are different just because of the prompting. So 2 key tips when it comes to prompting. I'm just going to add this as an add-on. I didn't add it in my slides. The first one is that you should prompt as a role. So prompt as a role. So what does that mean? You should assign a role to ChatGPT. When I keep saying ChatGPT, there are other tools. You should assign a role to whatever AI tool that you're using. For example, let's say you want something to help with your caption for your email. You want to send an email for your customers. or your users. Let's say you work with 10 company, you have users. You can now say that, oh, you are an award-winning copywriter. Help me edit my design, and then you give it that role. So what you have done is that you have assigned a role to the AI tool that you're using, and you just discover that you have better output. The second thing that I like to do, this one is a personal hack, is that whenever you're prompting and doing everything, anything it makes, like anything, whether it's good, it is solid, you just tell it that, tell me what is wrong with what you made. Somehow, it just pick faults in what it did, and it just make it better. So those are just two hacks for you. The third thing is collaboration. So you should also view, I spoke about it before, so this is a kind of repetition. View ChatGPT as a collaborator. Don't view it as a threat. Don't view it as something that's coming to take your life, or that something that's too complex. It's really not too complex. Just need to spend time playing with it. So moving on. So the final takeaway as I begin to wrap up, because I really want to give time for questions. Like I said, when it comes to more intimate sessions like this, it's always super important that there are questions, because with a lot of people, you might not be able to really answer everybody and stuff, but with things like this, like, yeah, I'm here for you. So final takeaway is that AI would not replace your job, but someone using it better might actually replace you. Why? Just like I said before, we're looking at someone using AI can increase their output more than someone that's not using AI. That is, we'll be able to prove it now. So like I said, don't see it as a threat, but the focus should be on how you can use it to make your output better. That is the goal, that is the vision, and that is the mission. Okay, so reflection moment. If AI gave you 10 extra hours this week, what would you build, or what would you do? So that is a reflection for everyone. Yeah. So, if AI give you 10 extra hours this week, let's say before you used to use 5 hours to do everything you do, and then now you now have half of that freed up. What will you do? That is the food for thought for today. So Q&A. So I hope I've been able to really break down a lot of this AI talk and AI things. So yeah, so please, if you have a question for me, I am very open to questions. And that's also why I finished earlier as well, so that I can take questions. I'm here for questions. Okay, it's like our AI is already You're muted though.
Oh yes, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Also, don't you have questions? If you have any questions, just feel free to just raise up our hands and just
Please,
join.
questions. Do you know that
Yes.
even if you told me that I'm not presenting or anything, I'm just coming here to answer questions, like I'd have been down for it. I'm all for questions.
Okay.
Because like you can say a lot of things, but everyone still has their own case, their own scenario. So please ask your questions.
Ask a question.
Have a
I have a
question.
question.
Okay. Load it.
Okay. I think I would like to know, like, apart from ChatGPT, what AI tool would you say is your next go-to that you use frequently? 'Cause I'm sure ChatGPT is like a must for everyone, like at this stage.
Yeah.
Apart from ChatGPT, what is your next go-to AI tool that you use frequently?
Okay. So when it comes to AI tools, yeah. Also, I hope I was like audible throughout the whole session, because I was just going.
Yes, where?
Okay. Because me, I was just going.
Not all.
Sorry?
Hello.
I say there's some ones that not okay, like this ChatGPT now. Like I don't really understand it, like not really gotten the meaning
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this your question is a very deep question, and that means we need to copy the slide and give it to you. We need to then send it to your email. Okay, but when it comes to AI tools, every AI tool has what it's good at. Yeah, so there are like specializations when it comes to the AI tools. ChatGPT is good for some things, it's not good for some things. Claude is good for some things, not good for some things. Gemini is good for some things, it's not good for some things. So I think I'll just give a very generic answer before I now talk about my own. So what's the average person should be using now? That's the average working professional. You're not a coder. Because guys that code, people that code, I'm not say guys, because I restrict gender. People that code now, they are in a different AI usage class than the rest of us. I don't code, by the way. So I would say ChatGPT is a tool everyone should have or should be using. The reason why I'm saying ChatGPT is that number one is the popular tool. And the thing about using the popular tool is that you are always going to get updates of like the team is going to be working hard to keep that number one position. As I'm speaking to you, the data came out 2 days ago. ChatGPT currently has 600 million monthly active users, and Gemini, Google has 350 million daily monthly active users. So you have literally like double of what Google has. So every day that they wake up, they're going to be sweating and thinking that how can we keep our number one position? And that is a good thing for us as the end users. Yeah. So ChatGPT, what's ChatGPT good at? ChatGPT is very good with text. So what they've also trained ChatGPT on, because the default model now, I don't want to get too technical. So the model that everyone uses now, they've been able to fine tune it in such a way that it is so good. It has a collaboration mindset. Let me just give you an example. You will tell it. I wish I can show you guys live. You will tell the model, give me an IG caption, and the next thing to do when it has finished drafting your IG caption, it will not say, boss, no vex, so please, should I turn it into a YouTube script for your video? And then when you now finish, you don't need a YouTube script, oh. You now say, okay, now, oh yeah, now, say you want to do, oh yeah, do. It will not finish that one. It will not tell you, boss, should I turn it into a Canva file for you so that you can download and then you'll be like, oh. So they've been able to fine-tune that model in such a way that it is so good as a collaborator. I was using another AI tool recently, like an old one. I don't know if you know Mistral. They are a European company, Mistral AI.
I doubt I know it.
Yeah, they are not so popular. They are in Europe. They are not in America, so they don't have all this hype. I was using it and it was so bland. Like when I asked him for something, he finished giving me the output and he was looking back at me. I was like, do not ask me for extra. See your mates. So ChatGPT is very good with when it comes to that collaboration mindset. If you want something, so it's very good for, let's say you want a project that you're working on. You're doing let me just give an example, a writing report. So it can give you, okay, let's do this, let's add this, that. Because we report and things like that, especially like writing, you never settle on one thing. You need to tweak something here, tweak something there, tweak something here, tweak something there. So all those iterations that you need to make after, ChatGPT is very good with that. So ChatGPT is good with writing. ChatGPT is good with image generation. It's currently the number one image generation model in the world. So on ChatGPT, you can go there and prompt it. I can send it a picture of Amos and say, make this guy a superhero, and to make him a superhero literally with glasses itself. So it's very good at image generation. But the thing is that the free users can only generate 3 images per day. So keep that in mind. So image generation, creative writing, deep research. So there's a new tool. There's a new tool that came out from December, and a lot of people have also gotten it as well. So that's the deep research tool. So the deep research tool is made for writing research reports. I gave an example when I was presenting, talking about how in the past, when you are doing research, you need to go on Google, maybe you need to type, how many people have mobile apps? No, how many people have smartphones in Africa? You now have to type in Google. You now have to be opening all the pages one by one, one by one, one by one. So with deep research now, they've created tools in basically all the AI landscape now, where you can just use the deep research function and it goes ahead to like search like, I think at least 50, no, what am I saying? Maybe like 80 sources. So it's checking like 80 websites for you, all in the span of like 5-10 minutes. So it's very good at deep research. So creative writing, deep research, image generation. What is it not good at? ChatGPT is not good at code. It's not so good at code. It's not so good at code. It is not so good at remembering context. So the thing about it is that anything you're typing, especially if you're going to be typing for long, man, this is going to take us to the foundational part. Anyways, so anything you're going to be typing for long, yeah, at the point, the model or the AI that you're using will begin to forget some things. Let's say in the first prompt you gave it, you said, "Oh, my mother is a catfish." Mhm. Let's say you now ask it about your mother, maybe down the line, maybe you're trying to write a story and you're going back and forth with it. Later down the chat, you can now say that, "Oh, your mom is a woman," but you're like, "No, remember that I told you that my mom is a catfish." Things like that. So sometimes it struggles with context. That's what they call it, context, like remembering what you said before. So that's what it struggles with. Coding, context, what is good at creative writing, image generation, and deep research or research. If you want to research, very good with it. Also for documents as well. Documents is very good with documents. And the way it is that it is formatted in such a way. One thing I like now is that if you generate like a a report or like a document on ChatGPT, if you copy it and paste it in like Google Docs, it keeps the formatting. So if it was bold in ChatGPT, in Google Docs, it will be bold in Google Docs. They just made it like that, which is like less stress for you. So those are things that it's good at and things it's not good at. What other? I'm just going to be mentioning free tools. I don't think I need to mention anything that you're going to spend money because when it comes to AI tools, you need to spend the ones that make you pay. You need to spend like maybe like 40K. So I'm not going to mention anything that is not paid. So what are some good free tools? ChatGPT number one is also very lenient. Google has Gemini, but what I would recommend is that the best Google AI tool is Google AI Studio. Let me type it. Let me type it in the chat. If you can, maybe go on your laptop and just check it out. Google AI Studio. So that is actually the best Google AI whatever that's out now. There's the Gemini app that is on all our phones, but they give us they give us crap. It's not as good as the AI Studio. The AI Studio is built for developers, so they give them the best of the best, but they give us crap. So if you can check out Google AI Studio, it's not an app, it's a website. Just go there, play around with it. Awesome experience. What other free tool? If you want to generate images, yes. Okay, I think I'll just type all of them. So there's something called Image FX. Image FX is the best free tool for generating as much as possible. So with Image FX is by Google, is an AI tool for generating images from your text. So you give it a prompt, black man sitting in a chair in a podcast type of setting to generate for you. And unlike ChatGPT, I talked about ChatGPT image generation you can only generate 3 per day, which is very limiting. Image FX by Google is completely free. I don't know why they love us, but they love us like that. And we are going to take it. Who doesn't like a wolf? So I think for my own testing, I tested it one day. I wanted to see the limit, and I generated about 120 images, and it did not stop me. I just kept going. That's 120 images in like maybe 3 hours or 2 hours or so. I was just generating and generating. So it is definitely no other one I'm going to recommend. There are other ones, but they are not as good or they are not as free. So I've talked about writing, image effects. I would not recommend Claude for anybody here that's not a coder. Claude is good for coding, but Claude is very restricted for free users. If you have money, go and pay for Claude. So yeah, if you have money. What other tool? What other thing do we use? What other thing do we use? And this is this is a personal recommendation, Edge. If you are using Microsoft Edge, and a lot of people don't like Copilot, but I really like Copilot. So Copilot is also another amazing tool to help. Like I said, because it's built into your browser, as you are doing what you are doing, you can just be copying and working alongside Copilot. So amazing experience. Amazing experience. I don't know if anybody here is a dev. Do we have any devs in the house? Any person here that codes? Any dev in the house? Please indicate. You are a dev. You carry code on your head. Or you're a designer. Any dev, any designer. Any dev, any designer. Dev design. Okay, I guess we don't have any devs or designers. Okay, so I think Fermi, I'll be able to do a lot of justice to your question. And I've also put some tools down. So let me just write ChatGPT. Okay, is there any free AI tool for video generation? Yes, there is. So this one I'm only giving you because we do it for the love of God. Yes, you're actually right. Most are paid. So let me just give you one. This is from a Chinese company. They're doing amazing stuff. Halo AI. I just typed it in the chat. So what Halo AI does is that, and this is the whole conversation about how China is stepping in. I know you guys heard about DeepSeek and all that stuff. So what Halo AI is doing is that they came in and said that we don't care about all these limitations. With Halo AI, you can generate, I think, about 10 videos per day. But the only catch is that they are 8 seconds long. So 8 seconds long videos, that is the catch for free users. I don't think there's any tool that gives you above 1 minute of video generation for free users. And even for paid people, we don't have any tool that can give you like 5 minutes of video gen right now, but they are really working on it. Another one is VO2. No, VO2 is paid. Google has one, but it's paid. So let me not recommend. But just check out Halo AI. Halo AI. So Halo AI is 3-in-1. It has text to speech, it has text to video, and it has text to image. So check that out. Also, let me just add another thing. Halo AI has a text model that is not as good as ChatGPT and the rest, but what is good for is the context. Earlier before I was talking about context, and I was talking about how ChatGPT loses context most of the time. At the point you just start dreaming or cooking up stuff, it did not tell it. So they have a model that has a context window of 4 million tokens. Now, I know it's grammar, let me break it down. So 4 million tokens means that you can impute or you can upload a document of up to 2 million. You can upload a document of up to about 3 million. Is there any AI tool that can summarize a video into script? This person won't make me sure. There's actually a tool for this. There's one I use. Are you thinking about YouTube videos or any videos at all? So you need to specify. So anyway, so let me just finish up on Halo AI. So Halo AI, they have a tool called Minimax. It's a text model. And what this text model does is that you can send a document of up to 3 million words and it will understand everything there. So what I did is that I uploaded the entire Bible and it was able to generate stuff from the entire Bible. Now, for context, the entire Bible is about 700,000 words, NIV version. If you go online, you can download like PDF version of any version of the Bible. So I uploaded it on it, and really, it understood the entire Bible based on the document I uploaded. So it's an amazing model. So Minimax, check that out as well. Who else is asking for a tool? Is there any AI tool that can summarize a video into script? Outside of YouTube, no. And the problem with that is that, let me just tell you how AI works with videos. There are only 2 AI tools that can understand video: ChatGPT and Gemini. And Gemini does a better this thing. So what it does is that let me just break it down. When you upload a video to an AI tool, every single frame, a frame is like how do I explain this now for people that are not into media? Just take it as any video is a combination of pictures. For example, now, let me just give an example. This is a frame. 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 So all that thing I did was just like different pictures come together to make video. So that's how it is. So AI tools, what they do is that they take screenshots of each frame. Every single frame that you do is taking a screenshot, understanding. So it cannot really work so well in understanding, it cannot work so well in understanding each, because there's a lot of screenshots. So you are going to, a frame is a scene. Thank you, Moyo. Thank you, Moyo. So a frame is a scene. Thank you very much. So you get the point. So there are only tools that can get transcript from YouTube videos, and that's because on YouTube, I think it's automatically generate in the background. So it's just gonna fetch the SRC file. There's a tool for that. There are a couple of tools, but you need to find an extension. I use an extension for that, but that's only for YouTube. For normal videos, I don't know any that can. The only one I know that can is, oh yeah, that's true. CapCut can do it. CapCut can do it. If you but I think you need to be pro or something. I know CapCut can do it. If you upload a video on CapCut, it can generate this thing for you. So yeah. Is there any other?
I would like to add context to Favor's question because I think I know where our plight is coming from, just in case you have more light to shed on it. So Favor did something really interesting for us. The last session we did, so we watched the video and summarized it and like wrote the whole article on it and everything. And then any questions, she was like, never again. So I'm sure that's why she's asking about a tool that would just help her. Like, so I said, wanted to like a summary of this particular session now, and like put it as an article or a newsletter and send to it.
Oh, actually, there's a tool like that. I have it saved in my bookmark somewhere. In fact, this one goes beyond, and what it does is that you give it a video. That's true. I was meant to be recorded. Is this recorded? Amos,
Yes,
is this recorded?
recorded.
Is the video recorded?
How to confirm if it is recorded?
I was supposed to record the video.
Yeah.
Damn. I was supposed to record the video. I have one extension like that. Anyways, I forgot. Anyways, so to answer your question, there are actually tools right now that can repurpose your content. So all you need to do, you upload your video. Number one, to auto generate captions for you. Number two, it will crop out bite size for you. Like it will understand the video, then take shots. For example, if you want to put on YouTube shorts, it will like just crop part of the video just for YouTube shorts. So definitely you can check that out on your own. I'll check that out for you, but because of time, I need to dig inside my bookmarks. I saved it long time ago. But another thing is that I'm not sure if it's free. But enough time has gone. The thing about it is that if any tool is relevant enough, somebody's going to make a free version of it. It just needs to be attention there. That's just the way it works. So,
all right. Thank you very much, David. It seems like we've done well at both times. And I'm sure, like, if you really enjoyed the session, because since people don't want to talk, I don't know if I'm shy today, but just drop an emoji, just drop like you love reaction, any emoji, just let us know that, like, okay, yes, you really loved it, you really enjoyed it. Yes, thank you, Favor. Yeah, thank you, Moyo. Yeah, thank you very much, everyone. Yeah, Deborah, yes, I'm glad I enjoyed the session. So yeah, there'll be one final session next week. We'll communicate details to you by your email addresses, and we'll make sure you, like, anytime there's an update, everything's connected with you. The recap, the recording, the slides that David shared, will also probably communicated. We'll communicate to you how you're going to get that also in due time. Because one of last week also. But just don't miss next week's session, especially once, like, if you are pushing a career in marketing or you want to even want to do marketing for your business. Because I mean, the thing about AI for impact is like, and trying to make AI like, okay, even if you are doing something for yourself, how do you make an impact for yourself? How do you get ahead of others? How do you also market either yourself or your business? So looking forward to seeing you all next week, Saturday, again for our final session. David, thank you very much for coming on board. I really enjoyed this. I really love this. In fact, I feel like there are a lot of things I would like to say about what you spoke about, because I learned a lot. And then that last phrase, I don't know if you remember, we worked on a campaign one time. This was like probably 2 years ago, actually, on AI. And that phrase was, I don't know if you remember that book. We did an ebook, literally, for Keble then.
what phrase was that? Is it the Parkinson's law?
No, AI won't take your job, but someone using it will.
Yeah. We wrote about it 2 years ago.
Yes, that's like 2 years ago. Like,
I know. Do you know what's so crazy? The fact that back then it was like, wow, AI, but now where we are now is like, it's wild.
Yeah,
it's wild.
It's wild. I would say we are ahead of the curve in a way, because like it was like before people started like jumping on it, we already there. So that was like really nice. So thank you very much once again.
You're very welcome. All right. Thank you for having me, and thank you for people that ask questions. Thank you for asking questions, and hopefully this session was beneficial to the people who listened in. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it was. Thank you. Bye, everyone. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.